Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is my November reading wrap up. I know it's a little late, but better late than never. I read 4 books this month, and I would say that this month was a really good reading month. Like, okay, again, like don't base like a month based on how many books you read if it's good or not. I mean, like, okay, I will be real. If I read 1 book, I would say it was a bad reading month. But like, for some people, that's all that they have time for is 1 book. And so if you get 1 book in, that's great. I would say 4 is not bad for being in school for me, so I'm not even like mad about how many I read this month, but generally like the ratings that I had for the books were very high this month, so that's why I feel like it was a good reading month. Hopefully December can also be as good, but obviously we'll see. We haven't gotten that far in yet, but how do I would say 3 of these books I have kind of either straight out said I've read in November or I've hinted that I read in November. So some of this might not be a total surprise to you guys, but oh well, here's the video anyways. So on that note, let's just get into the books. Okay, so the first book that I read was Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I rated this a 4.75 stars. The only reason that this book didn't get a 5 stars is because it took me a really long time to get into it. I was really struggling to like the book at the beginning. I don't know, it just kind of felt boring, and because the book is like not based, like it's obviously it's a romance and a fantasy, so it's a romantasy, but it's also like based in a different time period than right now, so like that was also hard to like kind of like wrap my brain around, and like some of the ways they talk and like some of the things that like are okay slash not okay and whatever. But I thought that, like, after I read the book and I really loved the book, like, looking back on it, I really think that's an interesting, like, way to do a book, is to, like, not only be in, like, a different kind of universe, but also to be in a different time period. So I liked that. I'm not going to say what time period because I'm probably going to be wrong if I guess which one it is, so I'm just going to keep that to myself. But, like I said, it's just not right now. Somewhere in the 1900s, but just not right now. Because we're not in the 1900 page. They knew that. You didn't have to say that. Okay, anyways. I loved the couple. I thought that not only were they, like, cute together, but they also were, like, I think they fit really, really well together. Also, sorry if you hear a lot of noises. I don't know why everyone's deciding to slam their doors right as I start to film this video. Could we just not? Thanks. But I can't wait for the second book. I've already pre-ordered it. I don't know if I'm gonna get to it in December, only because the day that it's supposed to come out, I will not be at my house. I will be leaving for a trip. So, and I don't come back until after New Year's from that trip. So I don't know if I'll be able to read it in time. But if I can't read it in December, I guarantee you I will read it in January. So don't you worry. I will say, what was I gonna say? Oh, women who are named Rebecca who write romantasies. Rebecca Yarros and Rebecca Ross have like made the end of my 2023 reading year. Like, I literally am obsessed with the 2 of them and their books. I generally am like, how did I read before this? Like, how did I live without these? I don't understand. Because let me tell you, my sibling has a book that they really, really, really like. Like, it's a series, but there's only 2 out, so it's 2 books right now. And they reread it all the time. I never thought that I'd find a book series that I loved that much that I would read so many times. Like, there are a couple books that I've reread, but like never like a full series that I'm like, I love this and I need to reread this. And by the end of this year, I'm confident to say that there's at least 1 series, you all know which one it is, that I would reread over and over and over again, and a second one that I would want to reread over and over again. But that might be a little hard with just how long it is. I'm sure you can also kind of guess which one that is. Both series have a book in this reading wrap up, so it should be easy to figure that out after I've said that. But no, it's just, I love the feeling of like falling in love with a book and like the world itself and like the series and everything, and like wanting to continue to go back to it, not just like, okay, I read it once and I liked it and like I loved it and like I'm just never gonna go back. Like, just because you can't read something for the first time again doesn't mean that you don't get the same enjoyment out of it when you reread it. And if you do reread it and you don't get the same enjoyment, maybe that's less to do with, you know, the book and just the love that you had for the book. You thought you loved it, but you really just liked it or something. I don't know. That's just me. I'm gonna stop blabbering and I'm gonna move on to the next book. Okay, so the second book that I read, oh my god, could we stop slamming the doors? Okay. Anyways, rewind. Okay, so the second book that I read in November was no other than Iron Flame, by Rebecca Yarros, the other amazing Rebecca. So I also rated this a 4.75 stars. I know, you're all probably gonna be like, what do you mean you didn't rate it 5 stars? Paige, I know. It was not better than Fourth Wing. I'm sorry, it was not. Fourth Wing, still better to me than Iron Flame. But Iron Flame was still very, 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 very good. There were just a few things that made it less, some of which I can talk about, some of it I can't talk about because they'd be spoilers, and I still feel like it's too early to be giving spoilers. Like, it's only a month, pretty much. Actually, I think today would be exactly a month since it released, so it's only been a month that it's been out. I feel like that's, you know, my sibling who read Fourth Wing for me hasn't even read Iron Flame yet. Like, it's too early to start giving out spoilers because this is something you do not want to be spoiled about. Like, there are certain things in this book that are really important that if you get spoiled, the whole book is just not going to be fun for you to read. So anyways, the things that I can't talk about. So there were certain parts more towards like the middle of the book that were really boring to me. I'm a bitch, to be honest. There were just some things that I was like, I don't really care. That's kind of boring. Or there were certain things that made me so very angry or sad. Again, I can't elaborate on what those things are, but there were things that did that. There was a specific thing that made me very angry, and then kind of related to what happens at another point in the book that made me very sad and angry. So I hate that I can't tell you what it is, because like I don't want spoilers. So I can't really get into it. It might not sound as like clear, but just a lot of anger and sadness went into this book. I know some people hated this book. They thought it was horrible. I did not think it was horrible. I think people are too harsh on authors when they make a decision to do something with a character, or when they decide to do something with another character. Like, I don't think anything that happened in this book is so like uncomprehendable. Like, you read the first book, you kind of knew what the universe was about. You're reading the second book, you're learning more about it. Like, I feel like what happened in certain parts of the book were bound to happen. I don't feel like it was anything that was like unreasonable. Can I still be upset or sad about those things? Of course. Of course. But that doesn't mean that you can be like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you did that. I hate this book. And it's like, these books aren't going to be happy rainbows and sunshines. I'm sorry. If you're expecting that, you're reading the wrong series. This is just not what this series is going to be about. Anyways, I rated this 4.75 stars. I still so much loved it. I want to talk about that so bad, but it's a spoiler and I can't. Sorry, I have my like notebook thing, journal, that I like put all of my books down like when I read it and all of that. And then there's like a part where I can write like notes and things, and so I have all these notes and I'm like, I can't talk about that one. I can't talk about that one. All I will say though is, how in the hell did Rebecca Yarros write a man that I love to my core? He's ink on paper, but I'm literally in love with him. I don't understand. Like, sometimes I'm like, is there something wrong with me? Like, is this healthy? Is this normal? But then like I look online and everyone's feeling the same way. So like, at least I'm not alone if it's not normal. So I'm just gonna go with the fact that, you know, Rebecca Yarros has some sort of magic pen, and when she writes this book, okay, maybe not pen, that's funny that I think she writes the books. She types the books. Anyways, you know what I mean when I say that. She got some magic fingers, because like, that man, he's real. I'm sorry. He can't be fake. There's just too much love I have for him. Like, even when he does things that are wrong, they're right. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. That was the second book that I read in November. Will I reread it in December? Maybe. We'll find out. So the third book that I read is actually a graphic novel. It is the second volume of After, the graphic novel, by Anna Todd. So if you've watched, I think I talked about it in my bookshelf tour. So if you watch that, I basically got back into reading. Like, I liked reading as a kid. Obviously, I was not reading romance as a kid. I was reading kids' books like Junie B. Jones and, what were those books called? There was another book series that was really popular that I can't think of. But anyways, I read a lot of books when I was younger. And then I kind of got into, like, middle school. Didn't really read a whole lot. Not because, like, oh, reading's not cool. Like, I just was so busy with schoolwork and felt like, oh, I would never have time to actually read a book outside of schoolwork. I was also in a sport at the time, so like I played volleyball and stuff, so that also kind of left there to not be a lot of time, so I just didn't really focus on other hobbies that I could possibly like. Then, you know, got into high school, and, you know, COVID happened and reading happened, and here we are now. So basically those movies started coming out, and I watched the first movie before I read any of the books, and I really liked the first movie. Still, my opinion is the first movie is the best. Even if you think the first movie's bad, trust me, it's better than all the other ones. Anyways, but I really liked the first movie, so I was like, oh, I want to read the books. And when I tell you that I read that series, if you've read it, you know how big those books are. I read that series in 3 days. So, even though I know that the series is very toxic, and I'm very aware of that, because I can still like something that I would not want for myself. That's the whole point of like reading and fantasy books and romance books, is they're all like fake, they're not real fiction. So when I found out she was coming out with graphic novels of these, I was really excited, and so I bought the first one when it came out and I read it. And you know, like, it's hard to rate for me it's hard to rate a graphic novel because it's like it's not the same as a full novel. So my rating isn't as like harsh or anything. I rated this one a 4. I'm pretty sure I rated the first one a 4. You know, I like the storyline still. I think it's an intriguing storyline, whether it's a, you know, healthy one or not. It's intriguing, you have to admit that. So I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. I just know that I saw that the second one had come out. I had no idea, and so I just like ordered it off Amazon, and it came the next day, and I just read it. So that was the third book that I had read in November. I would say if you've never read the After series, but you're like super into romance and you like reading, I don't know if I'd recommend it. Like, it's not really worth it. I feel like there's so many other books that I like so much more. It just has like a special place in my heart because it helped me get into reading, but I don't know. If you really like reading about toxic relationships, then I guess go ahead. But if you liked the movies, like if you actually liked the movies, you would like the books better. They're so much better. But like I said, do with that what you will. If you want to read it, great. If you don't, I don't blame you. But yes, the second edition, no, volume 2, not second edition, volume 2 of After, the graphic novel, is the third book that I read in November. Okay, so the fourth and final book that I read in November is Addicted After All by Krista and Becca Ritchie. As you all know, I have been trying to finish the series by this end of the year, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I do not think that I can read the last 3 books in December. I think that's just too much with all the other books that I really want to read. So I don't think I'm gonna force myself to finish it. I definitely think I'll get through Fuel the Fire next month because it is on my TBR, and like, if I don't, check on me, something went wrong, because like I'm really excited to read that book. Rose and Connor, I do think, are my favorite couples, so yeah. Anyways, I don't really have any like strong opinions on like things I disliked about the book. I rated it a 4.5. It was not a 5 for me. Honestly, none of the books that have been in Lily and Lo's perspectives I think have ever been higher than a 4.5. I think most of them are 4s and 4.5s. Nothing against Lily and Lo. I love them both so very much. Their relationship is adorable and obviously also has its own ups and downs and toxicity and everything, but like, it is beautiful. And I will say Addicted After All is my favorite of all of their point of views of their books. However, there were also just parts where I don't know, sometimes for me, Lily and Lo, like, I just think it's their personalities. They don't vibe as much with me. Like, for some reason, when I look at the 3 couples, like, the reason Rose and Connor are my favorite is because I, like, connect with those characters better. Like, there are certain things that I'm either like, yeah, that's me, or, like, I see myself in Rose a lot, and, like, some of the things she says and agrees with, and how she, like, that's kind of how I figure out characters that I like. And so there's nothing wrong with Lily and Lo. I just can't connect with them on certain things. But a 4.5 is not bad. Like, I feel like that I'm making it sound like this is bad. I just know that a lot of people know that I love this series, and they're probably like, a 4.5, why is it not a 5? Just because the series is really good doesn't mean that each individual book is like, oh my god, this is the best thing I've ever read in my entire life. I had a great time reading it, and I loved them, and I can't wait to keep reading about them. this book had a lot of things. And I know that there's a spin-off series with 2 different characters. What? Sorry, I just got like a really exciting email. Okay. My phone, I turn my what's it called? My notifications off when I film, but I forgot to today. And so, I'm sorry. I saw an email with the word ARC in it. I got excited. I don't think it's what I think it is, but maybe it is. I don't know. You'll find out maybe, or maybe you won't. Who knows? Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. So after you read the Addicted Calloway Sisters series, there's either a bind up of the 2 books or there's the 2 books separately, called the Bad Rep Duet. And Willow and Garrison are the characters that are in that duology. I did not know before I started reading it who these people were. You're not supposed to. And then throughout the books, you read and you find out who these people are. And when I found out who, like, in this, if you've read this book, you know what I'm talking about. When I found out, like, once it clicked, I knew the names, but things were not clicking, and then it clicked in a scene, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's them. Oh my god. So, yeah, that was exciting for me. I was like, oh, there it is. Things make so much more sense now. But, yeah, I don't know. Just, their whole entire found family, even though most of them are, like, family, because you have the 3 sisters, and then something I can't talk about, and like a whole thing. I feel like I kind of almost spoiled something there. I'm gonna just shut up now. I loved this book. It was great. I can't wait to keep reading the series. Krista and Becca Ritchie, you guys are amazing. I love you guys, and I love your books. Yeah. Okay, so that was my video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading wrap-up. Again, I know some of these might not have been such a surprise because I did kind of talk about reading them in other book, like, videos that I've posted. But oh well. It's fine. Again, sorry, this is a little later than usual. I do like to oh my god. I tend to like to post these right at the beginning of, like, oh my god. I just can't speak. It's fine. I like to post these at the end of the month or the beginning of the next month, if that makes sense. But hope you guys enjoyed. I will say December's reading wrap up might also be later than usual, only because, like I said, I am going on vacation. Like, I'm going on a trip, not vacation. I'm just not going to be home at the end of the year. Anyways, does not matter. Things just might be a little bit chaotic there at the end and might be a little different than usual, but that's fine. Hope you guys enjoyed. I think my next video I will be back at my house for. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to film. Oh my god, could we be any louder out there? I'm sorry, people on this floor, like, run around, like, they play tag in the hallways, I swear. It's really annoying. Anyways, I should be home for the next video. I don't think I'll have time to film before then, just because, like, finals are, like, today is our reading day, and then tomorrow is the start of finals, so got a lot going on. But that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, all those great things. We're now at 48 subscribers. We are so close to that 50 mark. I'm also, ironically, I'm pretty sure I'm at 48 out of the 50 books that I wanted, like, on my Goodreads thing, so that's also very funny. But super close to the end of all of it, you know, end of the year, end of my reading goal, end of the semester. If you're in college or you're in school or you have finals, whatever, good luck. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!